Welcome to the Low and High. It's good to have you here. My name is Folakemi Jegede. I am a company secretary and business administrator and also a legal practitioner. And we've set up the Low and High basically for people to be abreast of the rules and regulations that affect them, that affect the environment and also their business. And today, our focus is on landlord and tenancy relationship. Do you know that there is a law that governs landlord and tenancy relationship, particularly in Nigeria? How many of us are aware of your rights, your obligation as it affects you in this particular relationship? Right now, we'll be receiving a call from Mr. Ade, and we are going to talk about it after the call.
Hello, lawyer. I'm really hungry right now. Can you imagine that my landlord just served me 7 days notice and my rent is still on? I've only used barely 7 months out of my rent and things have been going fine other than the fact that the man wants me to just bow at his feet. At every time he wants to just intrude my privacy in my home. And now he sees me as a rebellious tenant. We need to find something to do. Thank you. Please help me out.
I'll welcome you back to the Low and High. I believe every one of us listened to the call and what Mr. Ade is going through right now. Mr. Ade has been served with 7 days notice, despite the fact that his rent is still subsisting. Do you know that there is tenancy and rental control laws in Nigeria? For instance, in Lagos State, the tenancy law of Lagos State provides for requirements before eviction can take place. And also, there is a need for standardized agreements to be drafted by a legal practitioner between a tenant and the landlord, where you can state your terms and conditions as it affects the tenancy. This provision under Lagos State Tenancy Law provides for the duration of notice to be served on a tenant. And do you know that the required notice is based on the type of tenancy that you are having? If you pay your rent monthly, you are entitled to 1 month notice, and we call it quick notice. If you pay your rent quarterly, you are entitled to 3 months notice. And if you pay your rent half yearly, that's 6 months, you are entitled to 3 months notice. And if you pay your rent annually, you are entitled to 6 month notice. That means Mr. Day in this scenario is entitled to 6 months notice, being a yearly tenant. Without us forgetting that his rent is still subsisting. It's after the statutory notice that I've listed above has been served and it has expired. That is when the landlord can serve the 7 days notice of owner to take possession. You know, the right of the tenant also goes beyond the 7 days notice, because even at the expiration of the 7 days notice, the landlord needs to apply to court before the tenant can be evicted. And one of the benefits accrued to the landlord in this scenario is that in court, the landlord may be awarded damages against the client. Another thing that I also want you to know is that apart from the notices, court order that I've mentioned above, there are other reasons why a landlord can also evict a tenant. And one of the reasons is that if the tenant did not comply with the covenant and terms of the agreement, and secondly, if the tenant abandoned the property, you are not using the property, Don't forget that the wear and tear, when you don't use a property, it can deteriorate. So the landlord has the right to serve you notice to vacate the property. And another one is that if you are using the property for immoral or illegal purpose, so beyond your tenancy subsisting, there are grounds, but there are also procedures to be followed. So for example, Mr. Day in this scenario should be able to tell us if he has breached any ground in the agreement. And if he hasn't, or if he has, the landlord still needs to follow proper procedure, which is to serve Mr. Day 6 months notice before the 7 days notice, and still proceed to court if Mr. Day failed to vacate the premises. And also, I will just list the rights available to a tenant. Firstly, as a tenant, you are entitled to receipt after payment. So you just don't transfer money without getting receipt for it from your landlord or from the agent handling the property. Your receipt must indicate your name, the property, the type of property, the duration of your rent. It must be dated and must be signed by the landlord. If it's the agent, you must be sure that the agent has been properly given a power of attorney in respect of the property. And the second right is that the tenant has a right to enjoy peace in the property. Yes, you have a right to enjoy peace in the property. Then the third one is that the tenant also has the right to be served the proper statutory notice, as we've explained before. And fourthly is the right to the 7 days notice. I will also tell you, as a tenant, there is no reason why you should stay after all the statutory notice has been served on you. So for a landlord, I would just advise you to follow through and serve all the statutory notice. And at the end of the day, you have the right to your property. I will also mention some rights a landlord enjoys in tenancy matters in Nigeria. The first one, you are entitled to your rent, to be paid your rent. Is your right, is your property. So a tenant occupying the properties must pay for it. And also, as a landlord, you are also entitled to periodic inspection of the property. Now, this is always stated in the agreement as the time in which you can inspect the property, and the procedure, maybe to write to tenants that you are coming, or different things, depending on how comfortable you and the tenant would be. You can put all the terms in the agreement. One of the rights that the landlord also enjoys is the right to eject a tenant. Yes, just make sure that you follow the guideline and eject the tenant. In response to Mr. D, your landlord does not follow the proper procedure in this case. So it is very important for you to engage a lawyer to respond to the 7 days notice that will be served on you. But be rest assured that you have the right to 6 months notice. Hello guys, I hope you've learned something. Here and there, every new get that we drop here will help you one way or the other. Kindly follow us on The Law and High and subscribe and share with your friends. And also follow us on our Facebook account at The Law and High, and also on Instagram at The Law and High. See you and bye.